4 minutes until the live stream.
At me no more. Like I'm a damn turd in their punch bowl. Hard to feel underdressed when everyone else at the party's screaming back at me. Ain't nothing wrong with you I can't fix with my hands. This looks handy. Now if I could just find a blacksmith. That would have been the strangest thing I'd ever seen. That time was about 10 minutes ago. I played my share of pool out west. Of course, we used a cue stick. Whoa, they smell worse up close. Hands off, Screamer! Hey, you're scratching up my buckskins!
Points. In 1 minute and 6 seconds until the fucking stream starts.
You think you scare me, you moaning sacks of shit? You keep coming, I'll keep gunning. How about that? Shouldn't have brought your claws to a knife. Who the hell carved this thing? Sick bastard ought to be shot.
Bonus points.
Hey, that rock's all lit up like a lightning bug. What's it mean? Low? Nothing.
Okay.
A bottle of bourbon or rye couldn't fix, though. Where's the old man's liquor cabinet? That looks like one serious shooting. How do we get our hands on it?
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Let's go to the biggest drop and Black Ops. Oh, what the hell? Seriously? Operation Grand Heist? New outfits. New weapons and camos. Maps. Vehicles. New mods. Finally a trailer. Drop into Ghost Town. Oh! Standoff. Outrider. He can play as Brutus. Oh, buried. New multiplayer maps. Casino. Okay. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks promising. Nice. Oh, had a. Okay. Lock up. Police department. Ah, me like. Okay. What? No. Me like. Me like. On. Black. Operation Grand Heist.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Raffison. Welcome to Treyarch on this gorgeous President's Day. What you just saw was the new trailer for Operation 3 Grand Heist. Kicks off tomorrow, first on
But
PlayStation.
there's no zombies.
And to discuss all of that and more, I'm here with the original Motley crew. Dan Bunting, Tony Flame, Matt Schrantz. We're going to dive into all things coming during this operation. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Great to be here.
No. Dial it back down from an 11. All right.
Monday morning.
It is.
A lot of
It is Monday. It is Monday. All right, Dan. Want to kind of kick things off with you, if you could. Last day of Operation 2, heading into Operation 3 Grand Heist tomorrow. Shapes and colors. Remind us about the season structure. Tell us what is to come, and
Would love to.
You're working on it.
So as you said, today is the last day of season 2. So get out there and finish that season out, because tomorrow it all kicks off with Operation 3 Grand Heist. And this is our biggest operation yet. This is something that the team has been working on really hard for the last few months to bring this to the fans. It is the beginning of the season tomorrow. That means that there is a ton of content and events planned throughout the season. So I want to make sure that our fans know that this is this is the kickoff. This is the beginning. So a lot of the stuff that you see in the trailer that we just watched is going to be available from day one. Some of it's going to come throughout the season. Some of it's going to come a little bit later. Some of it's going to come every week. So we have a lot of exciting action planned across multiplayer, Blackout, and Zombies.
Well, to maybe for anybody that wants to sort of take a little bit of a deeper dive, we just released a blog post that has a roadmap for the operation.
Correct, yeah.
So you get a bit of a feel for sort of generally what is coming when, but also get a good feel for the fact that we've got spring, summer, fall operations planned.
That's right. 6 operations planned throughout the year, and those are up on the blog post as you mentioned. Of course, this week is when it all kicks off. So I want to kind of walk our fans through the series of events.
New zombies experience. What?
This week tomorrow is the big update. Of course, for multiplayer, the big thing that you're going to notice right off the bat is Outriders coming. Outrider is a fan favorite specialist from Black Ops 3. I think a lot of people have been asking for Outrider to make her return in this game. We have done some overhauls to her mechanics. Of course, the Sparrow is a favorite. It's like one of the most rewarding weapons that we've probably ever released and Sparrow are her 2 items. The Hawk you can fly, park it in a location, and it will automatically tag any enemies that walk through that camera's field of view from wherever you've left it parked.
We also see the return of party games.
That's right, one in the chamber, first one tomorrow, which I'm sure Matt will go into in a little bit more detail. That's one of our favorite modes from Black Ops 1, and when we did the party games back then, and kicked that off. It's a very different way to play. It's kind of like a mix between slower and tactical and fast-paced sometimes and chaotic. It gets pretty crazy, those tense moments when you're one-on-one with somebody who you don't know if they have a pistol, if they have a bullet or not in their chamber. And then, of course, there's a series of others that are planned throughout the season, which you can find on the blog. And yeah, it's really exciting. That's going to kick off tomorrow.
Well, I mean, while we've still got plenty to talk about in the Operation 3 front, there's still a pretty large tuning pass for tomorrow as well, which we want to get into. Now, just to kind of weapons coming tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we've got some new weapons coming. We've got the Rampage full-auto shotgun, which is a lot of fun. We haven't had a full-auto shotgun.
Finally.
So, been play testing it. This is always a tough weapon to get right, but it's so satisfying to use, and we think it's in a great spot for the balance. So we're really excited to get that in players' hands. It's got its own unique set of attachments, just like all the other ones. So index
الهيميكر.
actually, and it's got more of a traditional pellet mechanic where you want to get more pellets on target in order to maximize damage. So your accuracy is actually going to come into effect more than with some of the other shotguns we have.
Nice.
Switchblade.
Yeah, we got the Switchblade, which is a really fun SMG. It actually folds into kind of like a briefcase sort of shape and back again, so it fits in with the heist theme. It's because of its folding nature, modular nature, it's more of a lightweight SMG, so it's very fast handling, fast to reload. It fits in actually to some of the balance changes we've done to make sure that there's that it has a little bit of room for it. There's room to get some of the other guns to focus on their core strengths. It makes more room for the new Switchblade. So it's going to have its own place within the SMG class that's getting that balance pass as part of this operation as well.
And I mean, so especially whenever you get into map locations like Casino and sort of fitting the theme of Grand Heist, we've got a new melee weapon as well that fits right into the mix.
That's right. Grab the cash, grab the money bag, and then smack players in the face with it. There's a money bag melee weapon, so we're just thinking of ways to have fun with the operation. The new melee weapons, and that is the new melee weapon. It's a bag of cash, smack people with it, a couple coins might fall out. So it's a lot of fun just to run around the map with that thing. Cha-ching.
For the next operation, maybe we could live stream that creative brainstorm, sort of like that.
You don't want to see that.
how we get to that one. Anything else that we want to cover on the multiplayer front before we dive into tuning pass stuff?
Well, one thing we kind of breezed over, but there's 2 brand new maps that are coming with this operation to multiplayer. One is called Lockup. The other one is called Casino. And Lockup is set in an LAPD kind of police headquarters that's been assaulted. The bad guys are trying to steal the evidence in one of their cases against them. There's a fiction behind it.
Okay,
And of
cool,
course, Casino is, as its name would imply, is a casino based in.
Just explain that.
Okay,
Right.
cool SMG. So though.
And it's based in Monaco, so it's kind of got that European flair, very ornate, very opulent kind of old world sort of casino building with Formula 1 racing happening all around it. So it's pretty awesome. These two maps are very different. If you look at the difference between the two, Lockup really is about verticality, rooftops, fighting high-low, up and down, through some winding passageways.
Well, we're going to jump in with Miles here pretty soon.
Okay.
He's
giving you the overview.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes.
So one more thing. I don't know if we made the point or not, but the operation is going to be going on for like
Couple months, yeah.
Couple months.
It's going to be going through March and into April as well.
So what that means for us is there's going to be more things coming throughout the operation, right? There's a lot of stuff dropping right here at the start, and then of course we've got more. We can't say what those things are or whatever, but just
Sure, we'll have plenty of teasers along
there's
the
a
way.
lot done. I'll say it. Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's jump into tuning pass stuff. So, in addition to Operation 3, there's plenty of updates planned for tomorrow. We will have some stuff to talk about a little bit later on the Black Ops front with multiplayer. What's in store?
Well, so we put the balance changes that we're doing out actually on Friday. So they're out there. Some people may have seen them, you may not. So you can check out the Reddit blog post to see that. And of course, we'll go over at a higher level here rather than going through every single change. But really, the way we're actually for weapon balance, from how we look at it in the analytics and data, it's actually the best it's been in a game at this time in the past few months. So we've been a little bit hands off, but at the same time, we want to freshen the game up. We want to address the issues that the community has been talking about and experiencing. And really, this game we're taking more of an approach of a community focused, more focus on the community feedback than just kind of data driven.
Yeah.
And so we want to hear what people have to say. We want to hear what their take on the various issues of the game are. And that's been actually really successful, and it's been great to get all the feedback from the community. So we're reaching out a lot, and so that helped inform on kind of not just like what we do exactly, how we do it, or just getting extra opinions on this pass.
Has the community of fans had much feedback?
Yeah, well, it's great. You know, it's more data really, like every single. But we get to read it individually, and kind of there's sometimes a little bit of detail that's hidden can actually be a gem of insight. You never know where it might come from. So one thing that we heard a lot of, number one, was the Titan. That was the number one piece of feedback we got. A lot of people love using the Titan, but it's as far as our whole player base goes, there's people aren't quite happy with where it's at right now. So we're going to make some adjustments to that, bring the Titan kind of where the player's expectation is for it, and we're doing that by a couple different ways. Really, it's about making it feel fair in a heads-up gunfight, so you feel like you have a good chance against it. And also, some players have, we've had the issue of it taking down score streaks a little too quickly, so we're taking down its ability to do that a little bit. Still going to be strong. We want to keep the core feel of it. That's important of it, right?
Absolutely.
That guns still feel powerful. So the Titan was kind of the first one from the community perspective, and it matched up what we were seeing. So that was an easy one to knock out.
If I'm not mistaken, there were a couple, and this kind of gets us into sort of the competitive feature set. There were a couple updates made to weapons that sort of, we wanted to make sure that we got out in front of this week's CWL action as well.
Zombies.
Updates that, League Play goes live on Thursday. So.
Yeah, League Play's going live.
So SOG 9, what else is?
So, I mean, this will affect, now talking about assault rifles and SMGs kind of as a class, right?
Yeah.
Because it all kind of ties in together. That's going to affect the majority of players right there between those two classes. So we really wanted to get the balance right within those classes. We like there's about 4 to 3 or so ARs and SMGs. We like that balance. That feels good for players. But within the class, we're seeing like too many Spitfires, right? Or too many SOGs. And then on the AR side, maybe too many Maddoxes. And when we also see that mirrored in the public match and the competitive play, that's when it's a sign that there might be a problem there. We feel like we're really getting it right when the pros are using different guns than are popular in pubs, because that means those are the skill-based guns. So that's where we like to be, ideally. And we see that with some guns like the ICR, for example, is really popular with the pros. So when it comes to that, we took that pass to balance across those classes, and there was an opportunity there as well to address some feedback that was coming straight from the pros, specifically on the SOG. So the pros are so good that they can notice when the speed gets a little bit too fast for when it starts to mess with their gun mechanics. And the SOG is actually having that issue with its base movement speed, with its stock movement speed, and we're getting direct feedback. There's a whole loop of things that the pros know more about there. And we wanted to address that. So we took down the speeds of the SOG down to a reasonable amount for an SMG. Actually, as a gun, it was faster than all the other SMGs, which was something we were toying with this archetype. It doesn't need that in order to be good, so we're going to bring that back down. That's also going to help with the overall pacing of the game for competitive and pubs. So that's really mainly, the SOG was mainly about its speed. Other than that, it's going to play very much the same. So when we take the SOG down a little bit, we have to think about the next gun that all the pros and players have been gravitating towards, which is the Maddox. That gun's kind of been sucking players in towards it over time. We're seeing more and more players move towards it. So in order to stem that off, make sure that it doesn't become a one-gun meta in the pro or the public scene, we want to take the Maddox down a little bit and as well elevate some of the other assault rifles. So hopefully what we see is some better pacing, getting that tighter gunplay across the board, and then more guns that are going to be relevant in competitive and public.
All right. We've got Miles in a pre-recorded segment kind of walking us through casino and lockup in greater detail. Before we kick it off to Miles, is there anything else that you guys wanted to cover, particularly on the MP front?
I mean, I can touch on the just kind of additional tuning with score streaks.
Absolutely.
I don't want to say that Tony's FMJ2 was preventing devastating score streaks, but we came to an agreement. It's a good point. Tony, Kevin, and myself kind of looked at that. Very specific. What is FMJ2 doing to certain vehicles? So we've increased some vehicle health, like the straight front, for points earlier in the year, I believe it was. So we're still just fine-tuning the score streaks, and I think a big
damn
one
it,
for
this
the score
dog.
streaks that I've seen some positive feedback on was that score streak kills in modes with friendly fire, hardcore, your Pro Series mosh pit. Those won't actually contribute towards the team kill kick limit. There's a lot of times that you're afraid to call in a strafe run in hardcore because it could potentially get you kicked. So we're that's one of those times where we've kind of held sacred to that, and you know what, we're gonna make a change there, and so you're not gonna get kicked with score streak kills after tomorrow. There may be some additional punishments needed there if it becomes a problem, but we're gonna put that out and see how that goes. So overall, just a few buffs here and there for score streaks. So I'm hoping that's gonna be good. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Then on the specialist side as well, we got a few changes coming in. Consistent feedback we've been getting, things we've been feeling here in the studio. Some of the specialist abilities that are getting more and more play, that there's not enough counterplay there. So we're focusing on making sure that you can counter the abilities that are frustrating you. So 9-bang, we got a couple new ways to fight against that. You can change stances, you can see a little bit better through it. You won't put the tactical mask because it can be more effective counter. The seeker drone, getting very popular. That's gonna if you shoot that thing with the shot, you're gonna be able to take it out. Thing's small enough, it should go down to a bullet. That's how we felt in play testing, so it feels like there is a proper counter. So that's one of the changes too. And of course we have Outrider coming in, who's really gonna mix up the whole specialist meta. So we got to see how she comes in, where the cards fall. She's just been a lot of fun to develop. She's kind of actually been easy to develop because she's just been really fun right out of the gate. We just make tweaks and everyone's been enjoying playing with her. And I think the secret to that is that not only is the Sparrow super satisfying to use, it's got a scope on it now. You can use it at long range, you get that zoom. And it's just overall more polished and smooth than it's been before. But her Hawk drone is so satisfying to use. You really get a different gameplay flow and pace to throw out your drone, fly it around, pilot it to just wherever you want, which based on the game mode or the map or your play style, you can use it differently depending on any of those. And not only that, but you put it there, and now the enemies actually have a really interesting way to interact with that. It's super satisfying to see an Outrider flying her camera around and you shoot it out of the sky, right? So there's some good back and forth there. She's fun to play. She's also just as fun to fight against.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Well, again, just to kind of reiterate, we've got the blog post for Operation 3 that has gone live this morning on Treyarch.com. You can find it there with the roadmap for the entire operation. Unfortunately, our producer Miles Leslie was not able to join us today, but we did have a chance to catch up with him the other day, and we were able to tape a segment for him to talk us through Casino and Lockup, the two multiplayer maps that you'll get with Operation 3 and the Black Ops Pass. And with that, we'll throw it back over to Miles. Miles, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us about the multiplayer maps coming in Operation 3. As people watch this, it'll be coming out tomorrow on Tuesday. High level, what's coming in Grand Heist?
There's a lot of content. So with the MP map specifically, we've got two brand new experiences that we're super excited to talk about with Lockup and then Casino, and then all of the different weapons and the Warzone, the blackout changes that we've got coming out. There's just a lot
Warzone.
going on in the Grand Heist, and what we really try to do with the operations in Grand Heist, and the previous Absolute Zero, was really try to wrap it in something and give it some theming that we can try to attach to and really embellish and get the team kind of engaged in. I think the two MP maps, specifically talking about those, really lean into that idea where it's the Grand Heist and we literally have a police station and a casino that is being robbed. So it feels like it fits perfectly.
Well, I mean, the team has always done a pretty amazing job with sort of the depth of the lore for their multiplayer maps. Give us the backstories on Lockup and Casino. What are we getting ourselves into?
Lots of things, lots of trouble. So we'll start with Lockup, which is really cool and different, as we've never done a police station. And it really started from this idea of, so we talk about vertical